Monsieur le Président. Thank you all for your for being here, for your presentation, and for the different perspective. What I think I hear everywhere is the big focus on safety and health. And so my first question will be for you, Mr. Moore, because you did talk a lot about education, and you said something that resonated with me. You said that maybe one of the consequences of C45 would be that it could highlight an issue that is already existing in terms of workplace impairment due to cannabis and other substances. So, and I know you've done a lot of work on the education, and so I have two questions, and one is, would you go as far as to say that this bill will in fact help in terms of providing you the opportunity for education tools or research or strategy to implement? And then I want to hear you about that course, that the e-course that you've developed.
Excuse me. To answer your first question, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Here. To answer your first question, I don't want to make it appear as though recreational cannabis is a great opportunity for employers, because clearly that is not the case. What we have found, however, is over the last couple of years, when it's been in the news, when it's been coming, we've received a lot of requests for information, a lot of requests for education and training from organizations, from companies, that it's like, we know this is coming, we don't know what to do. And our measured response to that has been that, yes, it's coming, but yes, you're maybe focusing too much on cannabis as the issue and not so much on impairment and fitness to work, which is the concern that is raised by cannabis and is something that companies should already be addressing. So in the sense that it has raised the issue, raised awareness of safety-sensitive positions and impairment generally in the workplace, I think that has been the opportunity that we are seeing right now.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Maybe my next question will be for you, Mr. Ines. I'm sorry, I knew I was going to miss that. I want to know, because everybody made me think about, the education versus education awareness versus drug testing, or a combination of both. And I'm curious to know about how effective is drug testing, not in having results, but in changing behavior. Do we know about that? Is there any research or results? So that's one part of the question.
Okay, I'm going to start, but I'm going to defer to my colleague, Mr. McDonald, to follow up. Our evidence suggests that there are deterring effects of testing, that when a random alcohol and drug testing policy is put into place in an organization, over time you see a reduction in the number of positive results, which is really the result that you're looking for. You're looking for a change in behavior. It's not meant to be a tool to be used for punishment. It's meant to be a preventive tool at the front end to reduce use. So, Chris, you probably have better evidence to speak to.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Derek. And thanks, Senator, for the question. And so we do have some evidence. That I just want to point to it in the package that we provided. There's a 4-page document, and an appendix to that document specifically touches on the issue of deterrence and cites the examples from the United States, from the London Underground, New South Wales. All of the data is very consistent in that as soon as they introduced random testing, the numbers dramatically reduced. And in fact, there's some evidence, the same thing when they've done this kind of random alcohol testing along roadside that Bill C-46 deals with. The evidence was with jurisdictions that introduced that, there was a dramatic drop in the use of alcohol. it's a proven deterrent, I'd say in a nutshell, Senator.
Thank you. I do have more time, right?
Well, you got 15 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Flexible.
Okay, so how effective? I come from the world of sports, so I'm interested in knowing how effective. I assume your testing is not, anti-doping WADA level. So how effective are those tests in terms of scientifically? Do we know that?
So what I'd say, alcohol is pretty straightforward from the perspective. Most people accept the breathalyzer, and there's some clear evidence on that. As Mr. Elliott alluded to, there is now saliva testing that certain organizations are doing, like the Toronto Transit Commission, like CN. It's a saliva test that their medical experts would say is likely impairment. And so I would say that testing has come a long way in the last number of years, and it really is at a level where they feel comfortable in saying the people that have positive tests are impaired.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Move on to Senator Seidman.